Okay, so I want to talk about the whole issue of men not approaching women. I have absolutely nothing planned. Do I look prepared? I just decided to grab my phone and make a recording. No paralysis through analysis. You can procrastinate on things and never ever get around to them. So I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I've tried one before. I had it pretty set up with better camera and lighting. I'm gonna get back to it, but I just want to jump into this. Lord knows I have nothing else to do. Um, and that's related to what I'm talking about. Um, I did go out today. I wasn't exactly looking to approach women. I haven't exactly started that campaign yet, but I did go out to see if something might fall into my lap. And nothing fell into my lap. But it's a very grim state of affairs out there, very sad state of affairs out there. I live in New York City, by the way. I'm in Brooklyn. So I'm in Prospect Heights. So I walk to Fort Greene. Usually I walk around Park Slope. So I guess I first have to, I know there's a problem all over the world and certainly all over the country, but I gotta think it's worse in New York and cities like New York because so women always complaining that men don't approach them anymore, and that's true. I think it's probably true across all demographics, but I think people in my neighborhood is even worse. I guess I put it like this: like, the more you have to quote unquote protect, the more protective you are. So I think these people, they're fairly well accomplished, relatively speaking, good jobs and education, and they think a lot of themselves. Egos run rampant in New York City. Everyone's so perfectly well behaved. Um, the worst thing in the world to them is to do something inappropriate, to be that guy. So they're just very concerned about being appropriate. And so I think one of the largest reasons why men don't approach women is they're just too concerned about being appropriate, right? So if you're looking for a guy who makes 100,000 plus and a postgraduate education and lives in a cosmopolitan neighborhood like this, you have to have a different strategy than just being out in public because that guy doesn't approach women. So women have to do something differently. Firstly, look welcoming. They definitely aren't the guys who are going to break through any barrier. There has to be a wide open lane at the very least, and they probably won't do it then. But that's job one. You have to look welcoming, inviting, available, friendly, because these people, they're not going to approach you. But yeah, I mean, I was watching YouTube videos on it just now, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like people stated the obvious. The issue is people's egos are too big now. It's almost always ego. Whatever you're looking at socially or personality-wise, it's almost always the ego, especially if you're talking about Americans, even more so if you're talking about New Yorkers. It's almost always the ego. And people, as with anything, if it's not working out, you have to do something different. So I'm not saying women should approach men, but firstly, like I say, show yourself to be open, inviting, energy. Um, I don't know, but yeah, maybe I'm just here to discuss the why. Maybe I don't have the answer, but yeah, it's obvious. Their egos are too big. They won't even look. Like in my neighborhood, people don't look at anything. Like, so if you're walking by them, they don't look at you. I'm from Queens, but when I moved to Brooklyn, I moved to two different places in Bed-Stuy, and this is a while ago too. So before the demographics started changing, it was just the hood, and in the hood they'll approach you, more than you want them to. But what is the main reason for that? They're not as guarded and protective of their image. Who cares what I have to lose? Just, hey, I'll throw something at you. So, and it's part of the culture. They're kind of playing with women, even when they know the woman's not interested, and then they have no chance. They'll still continue, which is something I definitely don't do, because I only want to know if you're interested in me. Otherwise, I have no interest in talking to you. I don't want to talk to you. But they enjoy, the banter, and I never have. But yeah, so neighborhoods like this, they don't look at you. They don't somebody could be pretty much on fire and people won't look. Like they're ridiculous about it. You know, um, anything you could I don't know, do something really conspicuous and they won't do the natural thing, which is, oh, that's a really nice shirt, or oh my God, he's so smart. Your son says something. I don't know. They just ignore everything, because that's what appropriateness says in their mind. So yeah, you can't expect those guys to say, "Hey, how are you? You ladies having a good time? Oh yeah, do you follow this band? Oh yeah." They're not gonna say anything to you. Like, and I think those guys talked more. Well, that type of guy talked more. 10 years ago. I think it's just been it's just been approaching people. The cold approach, I think, has just it's just become like taboo. It's just become something that unsophisticated people do. I don't consider it unsophisticated. It's just how you have to initiate new relationships, acquaintances. Seems simple enough to me. It was different before, though. I mean, before I was able to approach women and get um, halfway decent results, and now they're weirded out. It's almost like, what is going on? Like they don't even know what I'm doing when I first approached them. It takes them a minute to say, "Oh, you're approaching me like a romantic." Oh, no, thanks. It's like that, and I'm like, man, because I hadn't done it for years because I just wasn't ready to be in a relationship. I was building myself up financially and stuff. So I hadn't done it for years and years and years. And when I stepped out to try, not too, long ago, I was very surprised. I had to consider all kinds of, you know, reasons, as to why that might be. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that. Guys, it's fairly obvious. Those people are too proper. They're too, New York City now. They're not approaching you. And we all know online dating doesn't work. I mean, I don't know. Do whatever you feel in your heart, but do something different. Do something radical. Approach a man if that's what you want to do. It's definitely not crazy at this point. The only trouble with approaching men is men will always say yes. Unless you are really, really unattractive, they're going to say yes. They can do something with you, not to be so crude about it, but you're going to get a yes, and you might never really know how interested he is. Not if you can't read people. I would certainly know. But he's always going to say yes. So you don't know quite what that means. But I would say just make yourself look very available and go out by yourself. Sit at a bar by yourself. Not that single people go to bars anymore, but just do something deliberate, do something different. And that's what I would urge. I'll be back, guys. Talk to you soon.